Hi, I'm Keith Perhac. I flew in from Japan. You might know me from the Kalzumius podcast. I also do Summit Evergreen, and today I'm going to talk about the new SaaS that we launched last month called Segmetrics. I'm going to talk about building a SaaS in 1 week. Okay, not clicking, so I'm going to use that. That's not working either. There we go. Hi, I'm Keith Perhac. Flew here from Japan. Boy, are my arms tired. Got to do that one. I talk really fast. I also only have 12 minutes, so I'm just going to fly through these as fast as possible. Notes will be available afterwards. So I run a technical marketing consultancy. We're about 8 people strong. We do conversion rate optimization, helping SaaSes and internet marketers improve their sales funnel. I'm also the co-founder of Summit Evergreen, which you may have heard of from Mike, as well as Segmetrics, what I'm going to talk about today. I'm also the co-host on the Kalzumius podcast, which I already said. All right, so here's the challenge. We had about 2 weeks in between some client work, and we were like, okay, what can we do with this downtime? We've had some great ideas flying around. Let's see if we can launch a product in 50 hours, okay? So I have 12 minutes, 3 points: finding product market fit, insane pragmatism, and think of marketing from the start, and I probably won't have time to talk about that. Disclaimer. This is probably not the best way to launch a SaaS. It's maybe not even a good way to launch a SaaS. The entire reason I'm talking about this today is that there are many people out there that have been working on a product for a year or 2 years. They just got to do one more thing before they ship. And I just want to show you that it is possible to get that thing out the door and start doing it. So the first thing is to find an idea. So best way to find an idea is, of course, to scratch an itch. Now you always hear this, everyone wants to do a time tracking app or something with Git or bug tracking app. Good ideas, bad ideas, there's a lot of them, but there's really 2 ways that you find an itch that you want to scratch. They're either tools that you want internal, that would be like time tracking or something, or tools that you need for work, which are external. They're things that people have paid you to make in the past, or things that people pay you to do that can be automated. And you need to, like Patrick said, make sure it's something you're interested in because you're going to be doing this for a long time. Great way to vet your ideas. Are people already paying you to do it manually? So that's where we came in. Segmetrics, we do a lot of Infusionsoft consulting. We pull a lot of leads and find lead values for different segments and different lead funnels, and it's really a pain in the butt. It requires a lot of exports, data pivot tables in Excel, making pretty PDF charts and everything. It takes us about 10 hours to do one report, and we're like, this can be automated, and if we want it to be automated, there are probably people who want to automate it as well. Now, the second thing is once you have an idea, you need absolute insane pragmatism. So the #1 rule of MVPs is that scope creep kills. So I've worked with big companies like Toyota. I've worked with small companies that are 1 man. I've worked with companies that are about 10 people. Especially bootstrappers, you have a limited amount of time, a limited amount of money, and a limited amount of effort that you need to be able to get something out the door. So if you're focusing on the absolute perfect thing that's going to solve all your customers' problems forever, you're never going to launch. As Voltaire said, perfect is the enemy of good. So here's some specific examples that we had as we were building this out. We tried to be very pragmatic about the development. This is one thing that a developer had said to me, hey, I think I could spend a day and make this MySQL query faster. All right, it was already pretty fast, but we can make it faster. That's 8 hours of a 50-hour time budget. I don't care. Should we support multiple CRMs to start? No, of course not. We don't even know if anyone's going to buy this for one CRM. Why support multiple ones? Might as well have it in the database anyways, but not build it. If it is not in the core proposition, you need to get the hell rid of it. All right? Did the core proposition change? Maybe your users gave you some bad feedback. Good thing you didn't waste all that time on technical debt. You spent a week building something, you find out someone no one wants, you either have to throw it away, which, let's be honest, no developer ever wants to throw away a week's worth of code, or you have to reuse it and leave it in as technical garbage, right? You need to be merciless with which features you launch with. If it's not providing core value to your customers, you do not want it in there. So here's some famous examples. Basecamp did not have billing code for the first month. They said, we get customers in, we have 30 days to figure that out. No third-party apps on the iPhone when it launched. No account limits. Pretty much every SaaS ever made. I think Bingo Card or Appointment Render might still not have it. I know that Summit Evergreen still does not have it, and Segmetrics still does not have it. So some examples for Segmetrics: no account limits, no queues for data gathering, no automated data gathering. You had to click a link to do that. 30-second load time for the graphs. Number of people cared, 0. Number of complaints, of course, 0. Number of people noticed, 1, and that was me. So it's only for me that I want to have all these things in, and that's a bad proposition, right? Until you find a fit, the less technical debt you have, the better. Tight feedback is key. So you go from an idea, feasibility, concept, feedback from real people, real customers who are willing to pay you money. So this is the first feedback that we gave. 3 hours in, we sent it to one of our beta customers. This was all generated from their actual data, and it's number of leads, number of buyers, conversion rate, number of sales, amount of revenue, etc. We built down all the core metrics that we give people, and we said, is this useful? If you were able to look at this once a week for any segment you had, any lead source you had, is that useful? They said, hells yes. All right, so we knew we had a good thing to go for. One thing that's very important in what this previous slide shows, a feature is not a feature if you cannot show it to your users. If we could not show those numbers repeatedly to a customer, it doesn't matter that they're there. It doesn't matter how cool the internals of our app is if the customers who need to be giving us feedback cannot see it and leverage it themselves. So I want to talk about one thing that a lot of developers and a lot of people really don't get is that it's all about building blocks. You build the simple CRUD first. You build the core features available in the browser. It doesn't matter that it looks like poo, okay? As long as someone can see it, someone can leverage it, it is important. And as developers, we don't want to do that. We want to do the fun stuff. We want to do the hard stuff, but that's not helping your customers. Really cool picture. Strong foundation lets you show off sooner. Showing off sooner gets you feedback quicker. Quicker feedback lets you improve faster, which brings us back to the idea, feasibility, concept, feedback. Booyah. All right. Don't try to be too slick. This is really important. Just like we like working on the hard problems. We're entrepreneurs, we're developers, we like solving problems. That's not going to help you right here, right? It's more important to get great feedback on your core offer than have something super polished. Complicated and slick, and I think this is really important, makes it harder to pivot. And the reason is because mentally you're attached to that great idea. And technically you have a lot of code that you don't want to throw away because now you found out that your core proposition is wrong. Also, when we were building Summit Evergreen, we did not follow any of these tenets. And the UI for Summit Evergreen, I love it. It's this 3-pane thing. It's all Ajaxy and awesome. It takes us so long to make an update. We want to add a page. We have to test so many things. It's a pain in the butt. I wish I had made it simpler. You have much more time after you launch than before. This is something that people really forget. I forget as well. Everyone thinks that it's the goal to launch. After that, you're done, you're set, you're going to sit on the Bahamas and have $1 million. It's the opposite. It's like getting married. There's a lot of people who are like, marriage is the goal. No, marriage is the first step. After that is the long haul. That's when you've got to make it work. All right, let's talk about marketing. The iPad actually turned off, so I don't know how long I've been talking. So if you build it, they will not come. This is very classic in a lot of SaaS places that they're talking about this kind of stuff. Just because you build it, no one cares. Most important thing is to find out where your market hangs out. If you don't know where your market hangs out, a great way to find that market is to build an integration. Building an integration gets you access to that market. Stripe is a good example with Baremetrics, BeStunning. Lots of things integrate now with Stripe. Infusionsoft, which is the one that we chose because we do a lot of Infusionsoft integrations. Ontraport, Drip, Gumroad, all these places, if you integrate with them, you now have a ready-made market that not only you can talk to and specifically target, you can also do Facebook ads and stuff to that target market. Having an integration doesn't mean that you're stuck there forever. You can always pivot away later. Famously, I can't remember, Airbnb started out doing only Craigslist, they pivoted away. You can always change later. Having that instant market already made for you is a great win. Wish I had, so there's a bunch of things I wish I had done. I wish I had built an email list to start out with. I wish I had gone on beta list and started building an email list. I wish I had built lead magnets and some sort of information to get people in, and that's what we're doing now. It would have been nice to do it before, but this was more a practice of, is it possible? We had done this all with Summit Evergreen. We had done the full, okay, let's build up a list, let's do the marketing, let's do all this stuff and then launch it. This is, can we get this idea out the door? All right, I think I've actually talked over the time, but the iPad has not gone off, so I'm just going to go out of time, pass on to the next person. You can find some information as well as we put together some extra specials on the little USB key that you have, as well as segmetrics.io. Hi, MicroConf. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Keith.